what is a matriarchal society? Around 12,000 years ago, we were in a matriarchal society internationally, right? 12,000 to 30,000 years ago. Now, we currently live in a patriarchal society, but we're going to talk about matriarch. In this matriarchal society, medicine, right? Medicine, science, and artistry is very much following the principles of the feminine, right? There's a strong femininity, and a lot of our medicine is influenced by the femininity that was expressed during this matriarchal society, right? For example, Chinese medicine, when we think of Vedic astrology, we think of Vedic medicine, right? When we think of any form of primal medicine, is very much matriarchal. When we think of remedies and herbalism, and when we think of yogic science, right? When we think of technology such as chiropracting your mind or chiropracting your body through these particular movements or through these chants or through these sort of remedies, right? Either it's tea, either it's like a overall holistic sort of lifestyle, right? A lot of that has now been taken, right, and brought into what we know as the pharmaceutical company, right, which is a very addictive sort of lifestyle, right? When we think of prescription medication, a lot of it is very, very heavy, very, very heavy, right, on the system, right? And our system kind of is shocked by it, right? Some of these prescription medications that we get very addicted to, right? And that's what keeps the pharmaceutical companies fed, right? Fed very well. They have big bellies, right? But before that, we had a different sort of medicine, a different sort of medical society, right? Where we were very much responsible for our well-being, right? And we had so much, right? So much healing modalities to really get ourselves in alignment, right? And it wasn't just about getting ourselves chemically in alignment, right? It was more so about our mind, body, and spirit, right? When we get that in alignment, we start to just naturally sort of clear out any dysfunction, disease, decay, death energy that, gets stuck, gets stagnant. It creates inflammation, and that, causes sort of arrhythmias in the body, right? Either the liver, the kidney, the heart, right? The blood, all that kind of stuff. So in this matriarchal society, there's a council of women, right? And this council of women are very much seen as the judges, right? And they're many ages, right? They're not just, we think of judge as like an older woman, right? Somebody preferably in their 40s and older. This council of women is very much women who have much experience. They have been educated within these sort of what we call mystic schools, as well as institution, right? They've been institutionalized when it comes to order and comes to structure and discipline. And they learn a lot about what it means to protect, right? So defense, right? They learn about defense. They learn about justice and finding order and making decisions that are corrective, right? As we know in our patriarchal sort of society, we don't really focus so much on rehabilitation of the people, especially people who have done, deeds. We think a lot about just the whole religious motto of you're born a sinner, you die a sinner, right? So prison for a lot of in the Western society is very much like just rot, right? Just rot away, right? We know we don't focus a lot on rehabilitation, right? We don't focus a lot on the development of these sort of diseases, right? Or this insanity or this mayhem, right? We don't really understand the sort of psychology of the sort of development of these crazy people walking around doing wacko things, right? So we had more of a rehabilitation sort of center for correcting, right? But in this time, this matriarchal society, we were very nourished, right? We were very nourished. We were nourished by religion. We were nourished by our economy. We were nourished by our ideology. So really, we didn't have a lot of this sort of crazy insanity that we have in this patriarchal age, right? A lot of this insanity and mayhem that develops into destructive behavior. A lot of it is from aggression. There's a lot of inner anger, a lot of aggression within this sort of patriarchal model when it comes to we're aggressive towards religion, we're aggressive towards our economy, we're aggressive towards each other. We can be aggressive towards our ideology, right? Because the structure of it was more so designed in this patriarchal sort of lineage, was more so designed to satisfy and to fulfill the elite. That's just how it was designed, right? It was designed by the elite, or what we know as like the king, or the pharaoh, or the whole grouping of, the lineage, the family of the king and the pharaoh, basically to keep them fed, right? It wasn't based off of a society or community well-being. It was based on a lineage, right? A bloodline sort of well-being. But before that, the matriarchal society was very much about the balance of the scales, right? It was very much about the balance of the scales. It was very much about exchange, right? Circulation of wealth and knowledge. And it was, when I say balance of the scales, is that we were very much sort of in the same playing field, and we supported each other in raising our children, right? We raised our children as a community. We know in our Western society we don't do that. It's kind of like you have a kid, you're by yourself, right? Good luck, right? Kind of thing. Unless you have a strong sort of family. But a lot of us, right? Many of us do not have that, right? So it's kind of like you're on your own type of thing. And raising a generation is very much a community effort, and it was just overall we were more connected to the earth, right? We were, because again, the whole sort of principle of the matriarch is about the earth, right? It's about environmentalism and humanitarianism, and a lot of structural design or agriculture design. Agriculture was based off of the fulfilling of, right, environmentalist and humanitarian sort of lifestyle, right? So everything we did was very much in generosity, gratitude, and as well as in we were inclusive of nature. We weren't trying to impose, dominate, control. We were very, very inclusive of nature.